All right, we're going to talk about the four types of curriculum today. So let's start off with the very common and mostly familiar uh, among all of us, and that's the explicit curriculum. Explicit curriculum refers to something obvious because if you're gonna take a look of your dictionary right now and search for the meaning of explicit, you'll see something that's very apparent, something visible, or something that can be seen immediately. And explicit curriculum is like that, and that's why it's something very familiar and common to us, and that's what we seek. We seek from teachers or from the school itself. But to give you the definition of explicit curriculum, well, it involves the various subjects in which to be taught to students, also the identified mission of the school, and the um, various topics in relation to it. We also can add here in the explicit curriculum the various skills or knowledge that are expected for students to learn in that certain curriculum. To concretize explicit curriculum, you see in college that there are subjects. Of course, those are part of the explicit curriculum. Examples are world literature, which has 3 units. We have speech communication and 3 units as well. They are deliberately and carefully chosen by the authorities, by the educational authorities, more specifically. A while ago, I said that's what we look or seek to teachers or schools, and that's right. Yes, before you enroll in a certain program, you ask for the course, the courses that you need to undertake, and that's what you call prospectus. Or perhaps in that specific subject, what are the topics that you need to learn, and that's events in the course syllabus. We have also another, which is known as implicit curriculum. Again, looking at your dictionary, you would see implicit as something that's not visible. These parts of curriculum are hidden and sometimes taken for granted. Majorly, they're not written, and in fact, they're embedded in the school itself. Examples are the culture of the school, the general attitude or behaviors of the students and the teachers there, and the people, also the expectations set forth by the school administrators. For example, in a certain state university, there's this one person who said to me that he learned about perseverance and resourcefulness. And that's part of the implicit curriculum. They're not technically taught because they would just be able to learn and experience that along the way. And I'm not saying that implicit curriculum is always positive. There are also some negative counterpart of that, such as in a certain school, there's one guy who said to me that he learned curses because of uh, his teachers commonly doing that while discussing or trying to manage the class. Well, that's part of uh, the happenings in the classroom, in the school in general, and indeed part of the implicit curriculum. We have the third type of curriculum, and that is known as null curriculum. This is a compelling topic. Null curriculum refers to the skills or knowledge that students weren't able to learn. Well, there are three reasons. Number one, perhaps the school administrators or teachers think that it's not developmentally appropriate for students to learn in that specific level. Grade 1 students learning the civics subject wouldn't, of course, learn something about fascism or Marxism immediately. Second, it goes against to the mission of the school. For example, I learned of a Catholic school which doesn't teach in their science subjects topics in relation to Darwin and evolution theory. And lastly, it may be due to the fact that teachers or administrators do not know them simply, do not know the topics or not those subjects simply. It's not part of their intellectual repertoire, perhaps. For example, in your world literature class, you would want to learn about Tripitaka and the Buddhist literature. And sadly, they're not part of what your teacher taught you, because the teacher perhaps is ignorant of such topics, and hence that's not put in the curriculum. So that's part of the non-curriculum, therefore. And lastly, we have number 4, and that is the extracurriculum. There, also known as co-curriculum. Well, that one pertains to the school-sponsored activities or programs in which the main aim is to supplement the academic aspect of the school experience of students. Well, you can give some examples, maybe the writing programs there in your school, or the athletics clubs like basketball or volleyball or football. You may also add up the drama and theater groups there, and even the news publication, which comprise of student journalists or students who are into literature. So students, in conclusion, curriculum is a very complex matter to talk about. Well, these 4 types of curriculum, explicit, implicit, null, and extracurriculum, affect the students throughout the learning experience.